Hi Cancer, how's it going? We are here with a timeless reading. The first card that we have out is Five of Cups and Knight of Cups. Okay. Five of Cups is feeling like something happened that you may have a hard time like not thinking about right now because of feeling impacted by it. This doesn't look like a good feeling. This looks like something that's sort of like hard to feel, but you can also feel like you sort of can't stop thinking about it. Kind of get that notion about this. It's something that can just feel like unresolved, like you haven't fully processed it. Then next we have Knight of Cups, which is about sort of like getting up and doing something, taking steps. However, it can feel hard to do that because you're still processing something here. So to take a step presently, you would need to sort of be in the present to do something, but you can feel like you're not in the present moment because presently you're in a past moment. Okay, so we're starting with that. Now, if you were in the present moment and to take a step in the present moment, it feels like it would be aimed towards a rebalancing that's occurring, maybe a stabilizing that you want to do. And this can be something where you know that this is important to do that, and that you taking those steps would be what would sort of allow that to begin happening. But then let's bring us all the way back to the beginning where there's still the sort of hanging out in the past, and so it feels like something presently isn't really being addressed right now. Which there's no judgment about it, it's just speaking about what's going on, the process at play here. You can feel like this is something that you do, that this sort of train of thought keeps you from the present moment in a way where you don't really have to do anything. Now, why in the world would we want to not do something if we're looking at things and saying stuff needs to be done here, or like I really need to contribute to making things how I want them to be? Like, why wouldn't we be doing that? Why would we willingly not be doing that? If you're like, I believe I have power here, there's something that I could be doing, like I want things to be this way, this is where I need to focus my attention. Like, why would we be choosing not to do that? Five of Cups, Seven of Swords. What this means is that you can feel like, I'm having to deal with something upsetting right now. I'm having to deal with something disappointing right now. Who's to say that if I turn around and become present and I start to do something, it doesn't just end up like this again? So why even try? I kind of get that feeling from this. You can really be cheating yourself of trying and succeeding, though. That's the thing. Because like, as much as trying to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish, or accomplishing what we're setting out to accomplish, as much as that may not be guaranteed, what is guaranteed is that if you don't do anything, it's going to stay like that. And you may look at that and say, I don't really want things to stay like that, so why don't I shift my focus onto what I really do feel like needs to be prioritized right now? Because I do get this sense that this is sort of keeping you from focusing on the most important things right now. And it can feel, even though you can be like it doesn't feel good to be sitting here thinking about this stuff from the past, at the same time, it can keep you in a space that what your belief system is tied to is that this is the safest thing for you. And so that's why this can be happening currently. So if you sort of are breaking things down, you can understand it in that way, why there hasn't been a move forward to do anything. Because you're going to believe that it benefits you to stay just sort of rehashing these things, but it feels like it's also keeping you from processing it too, because there's a resistance there. And And this feels like it's something that shuts you down, and so then moves are not being made presently. Sort of like keeping you in an incubation, but instead of things being processed, it feels like a tactic to sort of stay frozen within that, because progress isn't being made. This isn't the type of processing that's happening where you're like thinking about something, problem solving or making sense of it and processing it, and then you're gonna move through. This feels like one of those things where it's just a thinking about it, not accepting it, thinking about it, not accepting it, like making up these scenarios. It could have been like this, it could have been like that, I didn't want this to happen, and it feels like it just keeps you in there, but nothing's happening. It just keeps you sort of rotating within that. And so this isn't the type of, I'm looking back at that to see what I can take from that to help me presently. This feels like it's not really helping anything presently. Like the impact that it's having presently is that it's keeping you shut down presently. And that means that it's keeping what has occurred from being processed, and it's keeping what has occurred from being integrated. And without that processing and without that integration, no movement presently can be made. So it can feel like there's no moving forward. And it can very much be your shadow saying like it's better not to move forward anyway. Because like, what if something happens and then you get upset again? What if something happens and then you're disappointed again? What if you have to go through this again? So we might as well just stay here, in the case that like, what if a similar thing happens and then you feel like this again, and then it's that all over. But the thing is too about this way of thinking is that it keeps you from any chance, it keeps you from any opportunity that you move forward and that not be the case. This energy comes through once in a while, and it very much reminds me of, like, archetypally speaking, in the movie when there's a character that something happens to them, and then like the story is sort of continuing, and there are more characters that show up at this person's house, and they're like, we need you to like press the play button again, like we need your life to continue again because we need you for this scene. But that character being like, I don't want to be part of it, like I already went through this thing, but they're like not really moving. So it feels like one of those times when you, like, if you have the right reason and if you allow yourself to sort of go there, where there's I think like a hope about the present and about the future, and like something can change or something can happen and things can be different, that can be something that inspires you to sort of press play again. Otherwise, it feels like sort of being suspended in a place that it doesn't even feel good to be suspended within that. And that's also too why this doesn't necessarily feel like an active choice when we're in that place. It's something that the shadow sort of keeps you within there. And the shadow is something that sort of keeps you more on an ignorant side of things, where it's like, don't think about that or how we can get out of here, because I'm keeping you safe over here by not telling you that there's a chance that things could work out, because there's also a chance that things could not. So just stay over here. So it is like your like unconscious way of sort of protecting you, but by like protecting you from possible failure, from possible disappointment more so, it's also keeping you from the possibility of succeeding. This is what's being worked out in order for things to stabilize, and I think to get all the way to the point where you're allowing yourself to think about what you want to be doing. I feel kind of like ideas may feel like they're a bit stuck. You can say like maybe there would be things potentially that you'd want to experience, that you want to sort of cultivate in your life, but instead of doing that, there can just be like a thinking about the old stuff, and that this can be a transition that's being made now, Cancer, if you're willing to. Because I do feel a sense that there is a huge possibility, there's huge potential for you to, I think, really like stabilize mentally, and then also like with your faculties, and then also to be able to go on with a sense of inspiration for what it is that you want to create, for what it is that you want to cultivate, and to focus on that. What can I put into that? How can I do that? How can I make that happen? And it'll give you something to do. And I think something that you would prefer to be doing, because progress can really be made. Like something can happen and you can create something that you want. You can create something that you love. You can create something that you enjoy, rather than sitting in this position and it's just going to be that the whole time. Even though 5 of Cups and 7 of Swords can feel kind of like a safe bet, you're safely keeping yourself in a place that looks kind of miserable to be within, and that's not your only option here. But if you were to take another route, if you were to sort of exit out of this, you can feel at the same time like there is risk involved, which kind of goes along with anything. And is that something that you're willing to do? And I think seeing this as more of an active choice can bring some more insight into sort of like what you're able to do, what you're capable of here, and that you have more options. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.